Hey guys, it's your girl Jelly, as told by Inez on IG, and I am back with the Bible basics. So in this series, I am just basically going over the basics of the Bible. So literally elementary stories that I feel like as a Christian you all should know, or if you grew up in the church, you should definitely know these stories. So if you need a little refresher, here they go. But this is just more so people who are new to the faith and just need just the foundational things. And so it's more to come of these because there's so many awesome stories that we can review, and it kind of gives an adult perspective to it because I know when I was taught these stories, they were kind of like babyfied in a way. Like they were kind of like we was coloring, and it was like ooh like different stuff like that. It wasn't like no serious stuff and really like diving into the meaning, because I really believe that our God is like so smart that he not only gives us stories that for real actually happened, but it gives metaphors and let us interpret the Bible in different ways. And so just reading back these stories, I am actually looking at it with a fresh thought pattern because I was young when I read these stories first, and I didn't even read the whole story. So I read the story, but I didn't interpret it the way that I think I should have. So I'm so glad I am going back. So I learned some new things too while I'm going through it, even though I do know the basis of the story. So this story is Noah's Ark. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard of Noah's Ark. It was a movie about Noah's Ark, actually that was created about a funny dude from SNL. I forgot his name, and he played in The Office. He actually played Noah's Ark, so probably a lot of people know it from there. But Noah's Ark is in the Bible. You can read, I would say, read the chapters, Genesis 6 through 8. If you read those chapters, it definitely gives you a synopsis and an idea and an outline of why God gave or warned Noah to build the ark, and then as well God's promises to the earth after he flooded the earth. And so I definitely let's start off with just the basis of the story. So of course you guys already know Adam and Eve sin. I'm going to do a story on Adam and Eve as well. Adam and Eve sin, which kind of brought sin to the earth. There was a lot that was going on. People were sinning, and God did not create mankind for that. He created us in his image and for us to, abide by certain things. And we were just willy-nilly, kind of what we're doing right now. We were just all out doing what we wanted to do. And God was like, hold up, wait a minute, let me put some God in it. And he was just like, nah, I'm about to like wipe out everybody about to get wiped out. I'm not playing around with y'all. But it was Noah who was very I guess diligent to him, and he found favor in the Lord's eye. And God came to him and told him, I'm going to flood the earth, and I need you to build the ark. So it does give some type of timeline, but it said Noah was like 500 years old when when God actually flooded the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and it actually went a little bit longer than that. So I do believe sometimes timelines are put on there with the people who wrote the Bible and tried to sift it up, but you kind of got to use your discernment with the Bible, because again, it's a living, breathing testament. Because literally the stuff that's going on in that Bible now, the stuff that went down in the Bible is literally happening now. So I believe you got to just use your own interpretation when you read the Bible. So I really want you guys to read those stories yourself just to see what you get out of it. And so basically, God warned him. He was obedient and he listened. And at the time, he did have 3 sons who all were married as well. And so I think, and then, of course, Noah's wife was on there. So it was 8 people that, loaded the ark in total, and as well as each male and female of each animal class, that I think that they could gather up as much as possible to come on. And that right there is a miracle in itself, because how did the animals know to come to Noah's Ark? Like, I know Noah went to get some of the animals, but for all of them just to be flying in, they must have knew, because, animals get the sense when it's about to rain. Animals get the sense, when the birds fly away. So that ain't nothing but God for them to just be coming in like that. So that's like an awesome story in itself, like we could talk about. So basically, They all came onto the, the ship. And I honestly believe while Noah was, building the ark, people was probably laughing at him and was like, what are you doing? Like, come on. Like, again, what's going on now? Like, people are, being obedient to their faith, listening and abiding by God's will. And they're like, why are you doing that? Like, go party. Let's go have fun. And I'm not saying partying and having fun is a way where you basically going to be, for damnation. But you have to be mindful of the different things that you do, and that you're putting your spirit in. Like, I know just certain atmospheres I'm not going to go to because our flesh is weak. You get what I'm saying? So even though you may not agree with those certain things, or even, friendships, things like that, you're weak to your flesh. And so you have to kind of use discernment. You have to use different things where you're like, well, no, I'm going to be obedient to God's will, and God will place in your heart, like, oh, no, I probably shouldn't go. Or no, because I'm telling you, listening to God, being obedient, I ain't never been started wrong. And whenever I try to be disobedient, that's when bad things occur. So I always say, go with your instinct, and that instinct is God-given. So that's what I say. And so I honestly feel like, Noah went with his instinct. He built the ark, regardless of the naysayers around him, and he was diligent in what he had to do. Then he ended up, of course, I believe, like, that's the even thing. Being on the ark, I was listening to a sermon. Being on the ark with all that, like, going on, like, with the birds and all types of different animals that didn't eat each other, things like that. Like, that is amazing and a miracle with God in itself. So we always just talk about, actually, it happened, and then they sent the dove out to make sure to bring back some land, to bring back a twig or a piece of a tree to see if actually land was out there. And of course it was, but we never really talked about what happened while they were on the ark. Like, I would love to do a movie about that. I think I'll write a movie about that. I have a couple movie ideas that I want to write about the Bible, but that's one of them, like what actually went down in the ark, for my interpretation of what went down while I was in the ark. Because I'm pretty sure it was some juicy stuff going on. Of course, not no crazy stuff, but people are human, and they probably like, what's going on here? So it's like we always get to the end like, oh, okay, and then we went out, but it's never like, no, let's just really, really see what's going on. So I definitely may do that. I know I'm getting off track. But that being okay, so we know what happened with the ark. God sent Noah a sign and spoke to him to build the ark. He gave him clear instructions. The width, the cubic centimeters, where the door need to be, the roofing, clear instructions. So when God gives you a plan, he gives you instructions on how to get it done. And it's just God is just so wonderful in that way. He's just not going to tell you to go do something without a plan of action. And so when people feel like, oh, I don't know what to do, listen to your instincts, or again, God's going to place that in you to do. So that's a good metaphor to look at it when you're thinking about Noah's Ark. Another one is basically, okay, I talked about, being obedient to God's will. So if God tell you to do something, it's not for no reason. Go ahead and get it done. A lot of things that I've done, I did it, and I was just like, why? But I was obedient, and it made sense after the fact. I was just like, I see you, God. I see you working day and night. I see you. So I was like, okay. And this is just me listening in regards to that. Then basically, another metaphor that you could look at is because of the sins of mankind and what is going on, you will be judged for that eventually. God does not like us to be sinning like this, because he did not create us for that. He created us to be fruitful, to multiply, to abide by his 10 commandments, just different things that he created us for. And it's not for what we doing out here in these streets. Like, you get what I'm saying? So what you're doing is right. What you're doing is wrong. Like, it's like, I'm not going to be the person to be, I'm not judging jury, because he saved a wretch like me. So I am not going to be over here doing that. No, in your heart was right. In your heart was wrong. And because God gives us all that discernment. We're not going to act crazy and act like we don't know. Even if you don't have a spiritual sense or spirituality, what's right and wrong. You get what I'm saying? So let's not play. And so God always would want us to choose the latter and being right versus, going low. And, Michelle Obama would say, let's rather go high than low. But, people love to get low, because that was me. I love to go low. We're going to go low to the flow. But I had to be like, no, Angelica, Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the meek. Read the Sermon on the Mount. We're gonna talk about that too. So it's just different stuff. God be checking me left and right. And so another one is, you know, after God basically, and I'm finishing up. He basically, you know, was with God. I honestly don't believe he really honestly wanted to do that. Like, but it's like he had to cleanse it because there was just so much going on. I read in the scripture before that that's, I believe, how giants came to earth, because, you know, the fallen angels and, you know, humans were mixing. And so I believe that's how giants occurred. And it's just like, it's for the Bible. I was like, this is where they get it from the movies. I said, see, and we was like thinking they're gods. No, it was one guy and people were doing stuff. So I'm telling y'all, the Bible is so good. Like, it's better than some of these movies. So if you got to just read it with the open interpretation, I'm telling you, it'd be awesome. But back to the point, I believe that you know, God really felt bad for really, you know, flooding the earth the way it did. So that's why he, after what happened, he in Genesis 8, he promised that he would never flood the earth again, and he wanted us to be fruitful and multiply. And so I really, really believe that I don't think he'll do by fire or anything like that. I don't know what God's gonna do. I hope, you know what I'm saying, you know, you know how they get you. I be called before all that, because I ain't got time for that. I hope you know, he shine when Jesus come back. He come get everybody. I'm in that first group. I ain't got time for the mark of the beast. I ain't got time for all that. Like, God, get me up out of here. Oh yeah, what's that? The rapture. Please, for the rap, like, God, please get me. So I definitely feel like God, you know, that really hurt God to do that with the flood, but again, the Bible is a living, breathing instrument, and if you read it, it's the same stuff that's going on. The wickedness and the things that's going on now, you gotta be aware. And again, I hate to be, you know, beat a dead horse, but it's the truth. Like, stuff that, if you read the Bible now, all the stories, like I said, the stories that I read, because I think I was childlike when I read them, I wasn't reading them with the experiences that I have now as an adult, and I'm just like, I'm telling y'all, the Bible is just, I said, okay, like, he's literally giving you the roadmap of how to be a perfect human being, and we just refuse to listen or don't want to pick a book and read it. And so it's there, and I think, what's the next one I got to do? I have another one that's coming up. I'm gonna try to get it done today. Hopefully, if not, you know, I come back tomorrow with another of the Bible basics. This one was Noah's Ark. I said, you guys, you want to read it for yourself and get your own interpretation, which I always wish you would do. It's Genesis 6 through 8. That is just, like, you know, kind of the basis of Noah's Ark. The reason why he flooded the earth, and his promise of not to do it again following in Genesis 8. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, what they say, peace, love, and soul. I'm gonna get copyrighted.